If you are new to the program of the 12 steps and no one has gone through the steps with you, I'd like to take this opportunity to explain to you what are the 12 steps of the program, what do they work, why are they called the 12 steps of the program, and how does the system work. Step 1. We admitted that we were powerless over addiction and our lives had become unmanageable. What that means is that our lives had become chaotic. Our lives had become a mess. Our lives had become destructive. Our relationships were a sham. We were living in denial. We were powerless. We had problems. We were arrested. We were kicked out of schools. We were expelled. We had all sorts of problems. Bankruptcy, divorce, all kinds of issues. People hated us. Society couldn't stand us. We could not cope. We could not function. We were miserable. We were suicidal. We just did not want to live. We were depressed. We were filled with anxiety. We had all these. This was the life that we were living. We had all these types of problems, and our lives had become unmanageable. We could not manage our own life. We could not manage crises. We could not handle our lives. We had to admit that in step 1. We admit that our lives had become unmanageable and that we were powerless over addiction, meaning we used, even if we didn't want to use, we found ourselves still using drugs, still drinking alcohol, still gambling, still overeating, still watching porn, whatever the addiction is. We found ourselves doing it out of, not even through our self-will, but our addiction was overpowered our self-will and made our lives chaotic, unmanageable, destructive. And that's step 1, is admitting that. Step 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Meaning we had to change our ideology. We had to change our thoughts, our ideas, our thinking. And we came to believe that since our way wasn't working, since self-will wasn't working, since self-control wasn't working, our lifestyle wasn't working for us, our way of doing things was not working for us, we were insane. We were making insane decisions. We were making wrong decisions. We were crazy. We were mad. We were foolish. We came to believe that since our way was not working, maybe there's a power greater than ourselves that could restore us to sanity. A higher power, a power more powerful than us, more powerful than drugs, was able to restore us to sanity. We came to believe that such a thing is possible. Step 3, we made a decision to turn our will, our ideas, our desires, our dreams, our ambitions, our way of doing things, everything about ourselves. We made a decision to turn all of that and our lives, not just our situations or our problems or our family or friends or whatever, but also our lives, over to the care of God as we understood Him. Meaning we took everything that I am, everything that has to do with me, I am turning it over to the care of God as I understand God as being a loving and a caring God. Step 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory, meaning we had a look at our fears, our resentments, our relationship, our secrets, our sexual conduct, our moral deficiency, all these things. We were brave enough, we were strong enough to dig deep within our heart, within our mind, within our souls. We took that step to look what was wrong with us. What did we hate? What caused us to act the way we were acting? What fears did we have? Who did we resent? Who did we hate? What are those things that were making us imprisoned in our own life? What were those things and issues that made us hate life, made us miserable, kept us in bondage, kept us in our own self-made prisons? We were ready to have a look at all. We were ready to look at our life, our history, our deeds, our actions, the pain that we caused, the people we harassed, the people we abused, the things that happened to us when we were young, those traumatic experiences that we've been through in life. We were ready to have a look at all these things, put them down on paper, jot them down, and do step 5. And step 5 is we admitted to God and to ourselves and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Meaning, everything we wrote in step 4, all those things that came out in step 4, we were ready to in step 5, we admitted to God, meaning we took that list, however you want to do it, or however you want to have a relationship with God. If you're a Christian, you can, I don't know, go to a priest, or you can, however you want to pray, but we admitted to God and to ourselves and to another human being. Part of the work in the step is that you cannot work step work alone. You have to go through your step work with a sponsor. You cannot work a 12-step program without a sponsor. Part of the prerequisite of doing step work is to have a sponsor. And this is the part where you go to your sponsor and speak to your sponsor about your step 4, about your step 3, about your step 2, about your step 1. But the most important step that you have to go through your sponsor with is your step 4. You have to sit down and you need to honestly tell your sponsor everything. Without secrets, without being scared, without keeping anything back. You have to be honest, you have to be transparent, you need to be vulnerable. That way your sponsor can honestly give you the exact advice that you're looking for. In step 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. We are entirely ready to have God change our personality, change who we are, change the things that we do on a daily basis. We were ready to have God remove our selfishness, our pride, our ego, our arrogance, our dishonesty, our manipulative, cunning ways. We were ready to have God remove all these things, all these bad traits that we have as human beings. We were entirely ready to have God remove them. And in step 7, we humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. Every time we engage in an outburst of anger, we engage in ego, we engage in pride, we want to take shortcuts, or we want to short circuit or corner cut or lip service things. We are entirely ready to have God remove all those shortcomings, all those little issues on a day-to-day basis that cause big problems in our life. So our need to quarrel, to strive, to disagree. We always want to be right. We want things our way. We behave like spoiled brats. We are entirely ready to have God remove those shortcomings in our life. And we humbly ask Him to do so. Part of step 7 says, humiliation does not mean humility, and humility does not mean humiliation. And one of the things that we need to change when we work into a program, we need to get rid of that street mentality, that Brooklyn, New York mentality needs to leave. We need to change our way of thinking, and we need to behave like human beings. And we need not behave like monkeys or chimpanzees. But step 6 also asks us to change and ask God to transform us into a human being. Step 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Meaning, we made a list of everybody we stole from, everybody we harmed, everybody we abused, everybody we were dishonest from. In most cases, it will usually first be family that we need to go say sorry to, then our friends. And if you owe tax, you need to go pay tax, you need to go pay swords, you need to go pay whatever you owe. Saying sorry is not enough. If you stole from them, you need to pay them. You need to pay off your debt, your credit card. If you stole from your company, you need to pay that money back. And whoever we say sorry to, we need to say sorry to. We put all those people on a list. Now, this is where it becomes more tricky. You don't just go make amends to someone else. You first write the list, exactly what you did to that person, or what you stole, or what you said, or how exactly you harmed those people. Once you're done doing that list, you have to go to your sponsor. And you need to go through that list with your sponsor. And your sponsor will tell you how to make amends, who it's necessary to make amends to, how you should make amends, because by making amends, sometimes you might harm someone else, or they might not be ready to accept you or forgive you. So your sponsor needs to guide you through step 9. And step 9 is we make direct amends to such people wherever possible. Now here's it. Except when to do so would injure them or others. Now, I know for a fact, especially when it comes to women, there's a lot of people that just don't want to see me. There's a lot of girls that I've harmed emotionally that don't want to even see my sight, don't want to hear from me. And I've tried to say sorry. And when you make amends, you make the amends once. If they don't forgive you, you walk away. You don't make it 10 times, 50 times, every day, nothing. Because then you become a stalker. You go to that person after the guidance of your sponsor, and you go say sorry, and you make amends to that person. And if you owe that person, you have to pay them back their money. 10. We continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Now, I want to go back to step 11 because something just came into my mind. If you owe a Nigerian drug dealer, and you know for a fact by going there he's going to kill you, don't go there. Or if you own some dangerous loan shark, and you know by going there to say sorry, no, don't be a fool. He will kill you. That's when we say accept him to do so, we'd injure them or others or ourselves sometimes. Step 10, we take personal inventory, and when we're wrong, properly admitted it. That's when you do a self-evaluation every day of yourself. You do an audit today. Have I been kind? Have I been hurtful? Did I disagree with somebody? Did I fight with somebody? How was my behavior throughout the day? And you judge yourself correctly. And if you were wrong somewhere, you promptly admit it and you go make amends to that person. And if you could have done things better in a certain situation, this is where you acknowledge it. And on the next day or in the next hour, whenever you get the chance, you go fix and make amends on that situation. And that becomes a new habit in life. That becomes a new addiction. To make sure that as soon as you do something wrong, you promptly admit it to yourself and then you go fix that situation. Number 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Meaning, every day we have to pray to God. And not pray, God, please give me a Ferrari, please make Kim Kardashian my wife, please give me a big house with leather couches and a nice big screen TV. No, our prayer needs to be this. This is step 11 prayer. Heavenly Father, please help me to stay clean another day. Please help me to stay sober. Please help me not to lie, not to steal. Please show me, God, what's your will for my life? What is it that you want me to do? Please lead me. Please guide me. Please direct me. Keep me on the straight and narrow path. Help me to stay in recovery, to work a program, to be honest, to be of service to other humankind. Show me what it is that you want me to do with my life. Teach me how to be generous, God, and teach me how to stay clean and sober. Keep me away from my bad friends, from my bad company. Keep me away from the bad places I used to go to. Keep me away from those bad things I used to use. That's what a step 11 prayer looks like. And then step 12, after doing all these steps, we assume that by now you would have built a relationship with God. You would have become a better person. You would have made repentance, as to say, and you would have had a spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening, in simple terms, if you read the AA Big Book, it says a personality change. That's what Bill W. calls it, a personality change. So by step 11, you should have had a personality change. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of working the steps. So the only way for you to get a spiritual awakening is to work the steps. Without working the steps, you cannot have a spiritual awakening. So the only way to get that spiritual awakening is to work the steps. We try to carry this message to other addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. That's when you're ready to go sponsor other people, to carry the message as I'm carrying the message to you right now. That's when you share this message and help other people who are still suffering with drugs and all kinds of addictions. That's when you help them to come into recovery, to find a new way of living as you have found a new way of living. And as you've freely been given this program, you need to also give it to other people and help them to recover and practice these principles of honesty, generosity, kindness, forgiveness, all these types of things in all your affairs, in business, at home, in your marriage, in your relationship with your kids, with your friends, with everybody. You conduct yourself according to the principles of this program. And that's where by step 12 you need to be. What I'd suggest is that you get yourself a step working guide. It's an A4 book. It's got all the steps. It has a paragraph which explains the steps, and then you have to answer them honestly. There is no right or wrong answer, but you need to answer it honestly. And after that, go through it with your sponsor, and your sponsor will help and guide you into becoming a fully better person and a recovering addict. I wish you nothing but sobriety for the rest of your life. Thank you.